What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, DN Duel commentary. Let's just move that out the way. Alright, and let's turn that down. Alright, so we have KT, 775, and Bowlerific, 1537. I have not seen a rating disparity that large in quite some time, which this match kind of just popped up, and I was like, what the hell? I mean, Bowlerific's rating is double. Anyways, Katie opened up with Tenki, which got Bear, and then a couple of back row. He went for Thunder King Raioh. You see Bowlerific just summoned Una, and Katie then was like, alright, well, Bear pop, and you see that Bowlerific tried to go for the breakthrough skill play, and yeah, Bear doesn't die, Katie. It's just on Lance. I wonder why he didn't do that, quite frankly, on the Bear effect itself. It seems like it would have gotten rid of the monster. Now, obviously, with the Lance play, he was threatening to get his play through. I guess this way, you pretty much have to, because not only do you get the 1-for-1, but this way you make sure that your opponent still doesn't get the Bear effect. Katie looks in the deck, but breakthrough skill is still live. The Lance does not go. So, either way, I would say that Katie is in a very good position, because, I mean, you still have field presence. You got double monsters. You already have an out to Deneb on field, although he technically can break through Skillet, so, you know, that's a thing. But he still has to get to Deneb. And you see that he does activate breakthrough skill, maybe because he has a Rhoda in his hand. And, okay, he's going definitely for a rank 4 play. Alright, you see that he goes Vega, and Katie wisely opts to use Solemn Warning, and I like that because your opponent already committed to the breakthrough skill, so now I believe that Bowlerific has a Deneb in his hand, now your Deneb's pretty much dead, and I mean, you're not gonna normal summon it because I got 2 overs. So Thunder King Raioh attacks for 19, Bear's going to attack for 1600. You see a Call to Haunted played, obviously because he didn't want to take that direct attack and give him a free Tenki, even though he couldn't be able to search from it. He could see and then search for like a Wolf Bark or something. And this way he stops the attack. Katie opts to set another one. And now you're going to see the game of, will Bowlerific simply try and attack over the Bear, or will he try and exceed an attack? And he just simply tries to attack, and the attack is successful. And you see a pass turn. So, Katie seems to be very committed to that Thunder King Raioh. You see an effect Veiler used on Murmillo. Does either player totally not realize that Murmillo wouldn't have been able to use her effect anyway? So, I'm pretty sure she adds from the deck to the hand. Like, you wouldn't have been able to even use it. So, alright, you see an Honest come down, so Raioh is done. And Honest obviously got it in. That's why I've always liked that card. And Katie just passes. I wonder what the back row are for Katie. I mean, it's good that Katie was able to get value out of the Murmillo. I mean, he got a 1-for-1 there, but Murmillo wouldn't have actually been able to do anything with Raioh. Not Raioh. Alright, so 2 attacks later, and Katie eats some damage, 1800 to be specific. Well, actually, no, I was gonna say, he shouldn't have took 300, should have just been 2, so 1700 to be specific. And I think if I'm Bowlerific, I'm going into Luminescent Knight. He goes into Omega, which, okay, he activates Torrential Tribute. Maybe not the best play there. Alright, so now Katie is setting cards, and that's never a good look. It's never a good look when you're setting cards against Constellar Omega. Oh, unless you have Fire Hands. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I kind of like right there was thinking, oh, Lord, Katie, just go ahead and show why you're ranked 700. Go ahead and just scoop. And now Katie fires back. Not only does he get to kill not only does he or she get to kill the Omega, but, I mean, that Ice Hand's going to trigger too because of Call of the Haunted being on the field. You see Deneb tries to activate its effect for the 2nd time. And you're going to see a chain. Ah, okay. So we're going to see I forget what that card's name is. It's something butterfly. It's a warrior too for some reason. Blue Mountain Butterfly. Why would a butterfly be a warrior? Alright, so we see Cowboy opts not to go for Diamond Direwolf, which would have done more damage. Excuse me, Black Ship of Corn. But he does get the 800 regardless, which can turn totally into 1600 if KD doesn't have any way of killing that thing. And obviously you can't crash into it. So he gets the full 1600. Now he goes for Altair. KD needs to stop this, otherwise he will go for Black Ship of Corn and kill that thing. Or he won't even need that. He'll just activate Asylum and he'll get that 1000 damage. And KD started out really, really good. Just a couple of bad breaks really cost. Losing that bear, the Call of the Haunted play there. Maybe should have attacked first with the bear. That would be something to learn. You know what I mean? If you have bear and another monster, always attack first with the bear, because if the replay would have occurred, you would have been able to attack with Thunder King Raioh. And if your opponent opted not to use the Call of the Haunted, you still would have ended up getting the plus. So you would have been able to set a Tenki, and then if bear ultimately did meet its demise, you'd be able to go Tenki and search out Wolfbark. So either way, you would have been in really good shape. Or, I mean, who's to say in that situation you even get a Tenki? Maybe you get Goyoku and you just lock down the Call of the Haunted. I mean, I guess he could chain the Call of the Haunted, or he could activate it when you set Goyoku, but either way, you still have a free Goyoku. I mean, what's your opponent going to do? Not set anything for the whole game? Alright, so KD's up, and I don't know if it's going to get much better than what it did in that last game. You see Murmillo and Thunder King Raioh, or excuse me, Fett Veiler is thrown at that. Now that time he actually would have been able to add, but if you have Thunder King Raioh up and you try and summon Murmillo, you are not going to be able to search. Okay, so Light Imprisoning Mirror on the Deneb. That's going to be huge if he doesn't have MST. Okay, never mind. He's got Blazing Blue Mountain Butterfly. And, well, he can't go for Exiton Knight. It's not nearly, I mean, it's light, so obviously that's not going to do anything. It's funny, both players are trying to open up with their generic pluses, and neither player is getting them. I would have to go for Castle, obviously, because Castle can spin the Light Mirror and I'd still be able to attack. He decides to go for Diamond Direwolf instead, which does the same thing, honestly. You can attack and you can still, you can still activate the effects. Okay, so Breakthrough Skills played. Now you just attack. Oh, he had the full, man, he had everything, all the answers. He had the Breakthrough Skill for the effect. He had the Dimensional Prison to stop the attack. I mean, he just had everything. And it looks like Bolerific has everything too. So, he has stopped both Murmillos, and I wonder if he will exceed. Okay, Katie says, nope, I'm going to leave my field presence on board. Opts not to exceed. And yet again, Bolerific says, I'm going to do this damn Blue Mountain Butterfly thing. I wonder if not exceeding is going to bite him in the ass here. I would still think that Castle is the best play, because Castle gets rid of Light Mirror. You can still attack. He goes for a Luminescent Knight, and he attacks over Murmillo. And you just know that if he would have been able to resolve either one of those Murmillos, this game probably would have been over. But he could still easily go into a rank 4. He activates Tenki. He has to be careful here because of a Luminescence effect. I mean, he has Breakthrough Skill in his graveyard, which, let me actually read it right quick. They both have Breakthrough Skill. Target one face-up monster, your opponent. Okay, there we go. He's going to activate Breakthrough Skill. He's going to negate a Luminescent Knight's effect. Oh, right. He does not opt to use Bear's effect. Okay, Katie must know something that I do not, because I was certain that he would activate Breakthrough Skill. Okay, looks like he's going to go for 101, and then he's going to play the Breakthrough Skill. Okay, 101 takes it. Obviously not having another target. I still wonder why, and Bolerific scoops it up, I still wonder why in that situation he didn't activate the breakthrough skill from his graveyard, which he used the breakthrough skill on the Diamond Direwolf, so we know he had a breakthrough skill in there, and then simply pop the monster with Bear because it no longer has an effect. The anti-luminescent knight no longer has an effect. You can attack for 17 and 16. That's 3,300, which means you did more damage than what you did with 101. You get another search, and then you could still go on the 101 anyway. So, I don't know. It didn't really make sense, that play, but, I mean, all's well that ends well, right? Katie gets the win. Alright, so we're going to see if either player can resolve a Murmillo or a Deneb. Whoever resolves that first, I guess, just wins this match, because we have seen, at least, we've seen Deneb summon, 4 times, and it has not resolved once, and we've seen, well, maybe in game 1, we've seen Murmillo summoned, I believe, 3 times, and it has not been resolved once. So now, Bolerific finally is able to get that Deneb off. Blue Mountain Butterfly comes down with it. I guess we'll see. Alright, he goes for Giant Hands. I actually just played Bolerific too. It was funny. It was a good match. I won 2-1. He did this same play on me. He went Giant Hand, and I was just like, Monarch Stormforth. And I tributed for Charger, and he used the Fat Veiler, and I told him, I was like, it's a good thing that you used that Veiler, because I was gonna OTK you. I literally was gonna go Charger, and then a whole bunch of other just nonsense. I had a Fuel Cell in hand, so that's an OTK. Alright, you see that Katie goes for Tanky. That gets blasted by MST. And I would not think inherently Katie has a good way to answer Giant Hand, but he does play Fire Hand, so, you know, there's that. You see that he activates, I think, what's this guy? Alsem. So Alsem does 1,000. You gotta be careful with that card, man. I'm telling you. People will forget about how much damage you can actually do. You see Mind Control's played. I guess he wants to avoid the Alpha Nova. And then you see Dianara, which is really good for Katie because you're not gonna get any value out of that card right now. And I wonder if he might just go for a monster that's bigger than Bolerific's Giant Hand and just attack it. But a D-Prison would be the bane of him right now. Okay. Good for Katie. Not only did he get rid of the Giant Hand, but he still has 2 materials. The question is, what do you have for Altair, which we knew was coming? He has that breakthrough skill, and no Alpha Nova. But, of course, there is always Soul Charge for what? Soul Charge, why do you exist? I could totally bear 1 Soul Charge. I can't bear 3. My body is not, it's not ready, man. I can't handle that. Alright, so play is up to Katie. I wonder if he'll flip some in Fire Hand, which, I mean, that was predictable that he had Fire Hand. He doesn't opt to crash. I think there may have been more value to get by simply crashing Fire Hand and Ice Hand, taking the damage, and getting rid of your opponent's back row, because that could be a problematic card. You never know. Anyways, Katie gets big damage in, and pretty much balls in her court. If she has something like a legitimate hand trap and a Fat Veiler, I mean, that could basically close the game out. Okay, but Katie opts to set 2 cards. They are legitimate traps. Call of the Haunted is played, targeting Altair. Altair will obviously trigger, and so will Deneb. Call of the Haunted is so good in that deck. At first, I thought, I was like, everybody's on this Call of the Haunted fad. It's just a fad. But when you really look at what S-Knights and Batterymen can do with Call of the Haunted, it's a fad. I mean, excuse me, it's not a fad. Because you think S-Knights can go, they don't just 1-for-1 with Altair. They get Deneb, that's a +1. And then Deneb gets another monster, that's a +2. Basically, they Call of the Haunted for a freaking +2. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Now you see Stygian Dirge totally locking down Bolerific, cannot exceed 650, way too overpriced. I was on that card about a week ago, like right before the ARG event. Somebody played it against me, and I was running S-Knights, and I was like, this seems like a good card right now. I was like, you can decide it against Evil's Horn, and you can side it against Burning Abyss. Like, nothing runs outside of their levels. Like, the only deck that could play around it is Madoche, because you could use 4s to make 3s because they run 3s. You get what I'm saying? And you see that right now, Katie's just in beatdown mode. You can side it in the mirror match. You can side it against Evil Swarms, S-Knights. You can side it against, there's another deck, Burning Abyss. You can side it against, I wouldn't side it against Boojins, honestly. You see Twister played, and now the Altair play is viable. Twister not seeing a ton of play. I feel like Twister's a good card. It's just, I mean, you legitimately have to be maxing out on 3 Maxi or 3 MST to even consider Twister in my book. Katie is letting him go for the Altair play, which again gets him another search. My concern is for Bowlerific, how on earth do you clear all 3 of those monsters? Because those are monsters that it's never a problem clearing one monster or even like monsters. It's a problem when you have to clear different monsters in different ways. You know what I mean? Like the card that would kill Fire and Ice Hand would be something like Dweller, which he can't use because he can't attack right now. Or something like Black Ship of Corn. Problem is Black Ship of Corn has 2100, which means, you know, 101 can just attack over it, or it could absorb it, or if you put it in defense, yeah, just attack over it. So you have different threats. It's like this one time I seen a Burning Abyss player playing against Shadows, and okay, so he's going to activate Breakthrough Skill on 101. Okay, that's what I was thinking. If you're going to just preemptively Breakthrough Skill, that might lead me to think that you're going for E-Knight, which E-Knight will still totally get blown up by Fire Hand, so don't get that twisted. Alright, so no response there. Katie's going to lose his entire field. Maybe not so sure about setting that Soul Charge, but, you know, sometimes you got to try and keep your opponent honest. As long as he has another Ice Hand, he should be okay. And you just have to cross your fingers and hope Bowlerific does not have a Soul Charge of his own. Or Blackluster, and there it is, BLS. BLS is going to totally wreck that Ice Hand. Yep. He can't attack. He totally used Altair's effect. Oh, goodness. So, I think didn't he use Altair's effect to summon that? Yeah, he totally used Altair's effect. He can't attack. It's the same thing, honestly. Even if it's like he just would have banished it. We'll just pretend he banished it. Alright, so, Katie does play Wolfbark. That could have came in handy in the first match. What just happened? Dude, how did BLS totally attack in the same turn that used its effect? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you totally cannot attack, dude. BLS used its effect. You also couldn't attack in the previous turn because you cannot attack whenever you use Altair's effect. Unless that attack comes from I was about to call him a fucking Constellar monster. S-Knights. They fucking look like them, don't they? Alright, so you see that Bowlerific's face down was Stygian Dirge. And he can only go for rank 3s. At this point, I'm not quite sure what saves Katie. Oh, well, a Soul Charge does, but he lost 1. Soul Charge would save him. You know what? Really just, Soul Charge. I mean, if he had like another Wolfbark or something. He needs basically a 1-card Xyz. If he had a 1-card Xyz. Oh my goodness. Oh no way, he can't attack over anything important. My bad. I got hyped for nothing. I was like, if he could actually attack over that Altair, he could potentially win. And it looks like just straight beatdown gets the job done. Katie is obviously going to get attacked twice by the BLS. Then get attacked by Vega and Altair. For some reason, Katie's gaining life points. Obviously, a little bit of a mishap, but unless Katie was at like 8,000, this game's over. Looks like they're trying to get the life point situated. But I don't see any way that Katie survived that. Let's see if we can try and figure out where Katie was. I believe it's a good game because that's 3K. The tap from Bear is what? 14. So that's 44 by itself. That's 56. 60, nope, 7,300. That's 7,300 just from the board alone. I mean, that's 7,300, and he can't make Cowboy because obviously he has Digi and Dirge. So, yeah, Katie's saying let's run it back. Let's run it back. Thank you guys for watching as always. Katie hung in there for a little while, but just the power of S Knights, man. Deck might be a little too strong.